Hello, Oregon. My name is George Carrillo, and today is a momentous day for me, my family, and the marginalized communities I proudly represent. I want to acknowledge the people who came before and who continue to advocate for our communities. These advocates of change have made it possible for people of color to compete on the biggest stages of our political system. Today, I introduce myself to all of the people in Oregon and announce that I am running for governor. I am a proud father, husband, veteran, and Oregonian. I'm running for governor because health, housing, safety, and opportunity shouldn't be determined by your background, location, and privilege. Necessary changes can only be made by those who understand the power dynamics of oppression and to be able to identify it in current state systems. In the 1960s, my parents immigrated from Ecuador to the south side of Chicago, with nothing but the clothes on their back and hope in their hearts. Both of my parents were factory workers for over 30 years and sacrificed whatever they could to provide us with stable housing, education, access to health care, and food. They raised me and my siblings while also helping their community with the little they had. Their sacrifices, compassion, and determination instilled in me values of integrity, hard work, respect, and public service. As a former sheriff deputy and Marine Corps sergeant, I understand our social problems do not impact one population alone and require strong collaboration by all communities to overcome our challenges. As a member of the Latinx community, I know that things don't get better by simply pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. United we stand, and united is how we succeed. I earned my bachelor's degree through the GI Bill after serving my country in the United States Marine Corps. I continued to work for the community as a sheriff deputy, and I saw firsthand how the criminal justice system disproportionately penalizes community of color and those with behavioral health issues. I saw the inequities in how officers were trained and how we utilize our police force. Serving in the police force is not an easy task, but serving our communities is a responsibility that should be taken with a proactive approach to provide individuals and families a fair and equitable opportunity instead of having to pick between bad options and living in a state of survival. I made Oregon my home in 2013. Since then, I've worked to help the state's most vulnerable populations during my time with the Department of Human Services and currently with the Oregon Health Authority. My experience working at both agencies has pushed me to run for public office. I'm not a politician. I have been and continue to be a leader in the community, a leader that understands that our workforce is not expendable, that equity, diversity, and inclusion are just not buzzwords used without action and follow-up. How the state implements policies is just as important as changing them. In our system of government, we manage risk over what is in the best interest of Oregonians we serve. We rely on our unions to represent our employees to fight for their best interest. Yet, when social circumstances decline and leadership makes hasty decisions, unions are blamed for the inability to terminate employees, deemed problematic for seeking basic human treatment. As an executive leader who's climbed up the ranks, I've experienced and witnessed how state leadership silences and pushes out employees and community partners who identify systemic problems without considering solutions brought forward. Our communities deserve leaders who understand the impact of their decisions regardless of the intent. We need leaders that will allow and create accountability through community-based expectations. We need leaders who can place their egos and bias aside. Leaders who understand that it is not others' responsibility to manage their feelings, but their responsibility is to bring community to all of our platforms through collaborative approaches. I am running because I believe in healthcare for all, because you can't place a value on an individual's life. I believe in criminal justice reform because you can't justify the safety of some and not all. I believe this pandemic is a health problem not an economic problem, because somehow we should be okay with a certain amount of loss of life. To the people with the uncertainty of whether or not they have COVID, imagine if we were better prepared for predicted surges. For our business owners who shut down, what if you had consistent support to get you through the pandemic? For our Oregonians who go hungry, imagine you didn't have to wait on hold for hours to find out if you qualify for state benefits. For our children who have aged out of our foster care system and are now houseless, imagine if you had been a part of a system that didn't run on burnt-out staff. For our young adults who have the largest college debt in our country's history, imagine if you had access to a mentor who gave you options towards obtaining an affordable education. To our elders who can't access better health care, imagine a day when you could receive the necessary treatment to live a longer and healthier life. To our disabled community who are left out of the workforce, imagine if you had equitable opportunities. For our rural communities who face loss of economic growth, imagine a day that you see growth and a future for generations to come. For our BIPOC community who continue to be marginalized, imagine a day when you can be seen and recognized for your talents and expertise. For our LGBTQIA+ community that has been met with resistance for simply wanting to be themselves, imagine the day when safe spaces are no longer hypothetical. To our veterans encountering difficulties accessing jobs, imagine a day when employers can properly implement veterans' preference points. These scenarios don't have to simply stay in the realm of imagination. I'm running for governor because in Oregon, we don't have to continue to live this way. We must ask ourselves, why is the government afraid to make necessary changes? I know Oregonians want a change because you can see and feel how bad things have become. In our current system, we fail to recognize how we continue to hurt people by not understanding the impacts on our community. Our complacency cannot reinforce keeping the status quo. We cannot continue to give our power to people who don't or are unwilling to understand how to implement change in our government. We can't lose hope by believing that no matter who we elect, it's the same result over and over. With me as governor, everything will change on day one. All of the gaslighting that change takes time will be proven to be an excuse. You can literally restructure the organization and move people in the right direction tomorrow if you wanted to. Oregonians, you have the power to make a change right now. You have the solutions. You are not the problem. Believe that we can put special interests aside. Believe we can have a better tomorrow. Believe in each other. Don't let the illusion of power continue to break down our communities. Choose to join me in a revolution that eliminates the divide, show that we can learn from each other, and heal from the trauma we all endure. Believe we can see the beauty in each other's differences. Choose to unite as one, Oregon. Choose to win. Thank you, Oregon. God bless, and stay safe.